Hey there YouTube, it's Moodog815G coming at you with a instructional video today. I recently, as you know, picked up a Mongoose Dolomite fat bike cruiser off of Amazon, and you can see a video for that if you click on the channel and take a look at that. I kind of go over some of its strong points, some of its weak points, and some of the intended upgrades that I'm doing. Well, this is the first upgrade that I am doing aside from the normal kind of standard operating procedure of pulling the hubs apart, regreasing the bearings, the headset, the bottom bracket, all those types of things. That's already been done. So the first actual component upgrade I'm doing on this bike is I am removing this is the stock rear wheel with the stock heavy tire. I am removing the freewheel and replacing it with a different one. The stock freewheel has a 14 high gear and a 28 low gear. For this bike, weighing in at about 50 pounds, I wanted to get a little bit lower gearing on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to remove the existing freewheel from the bicycle and then install the new freewheel. What I chose for the new freewheel is a Shimano Tourney Mega Range. Has a 14 low gear. Has a 14 high gear and a 34 low gear. I'm thinking that I may have to swap the stock chain on the bike out, or at least add a few links to accommodate that bigger low gear. So without further ado, we'll get started on this. Pretty basic stuff here, guys. Now keep in mind that I've already had this apart and I've already had this freewheel off, so the tough stuff is over with. And what I mean by tough stuff is if you're replacing a freewheel on a bicycle that's been on there for any amount of time and you've ridden that bicycle for any amount of time, first thing I'm doing here is removing the axle nut and the washer. If you've ridden a bike for any amount of time, this freewheel, just by riding it, is what tightens this freewheel onto the hub. So it can be a bear to get off. Sometimes you have to actually put the freewheel, the bicycle wheel face down in a vise, and then use the Freewheel Remover tool. The remover tool that I'm going to be using today is the Park FR1. It is has a splined outside. It's made of hardened steel, and it has a hex on this side here that you could put an adjustable wrench or a big wrench on. And this actually fits in the spline shaft. I don't know if you can see this. Probably not going to be able to see it. Let me see if I can get a close up in there. And you can just barely make it out on the right side there. So you insert the to do this, you insert the tool over the hub and then fit it into place, and you'll see how it fits in. I hope I can get this on camera. I'm using my iPhone, but you can kind of see how that fits in there. Fits all the way snug. What I used to take it off, only because it had not been ridden, is just a standard crescent wrench, and you fit it over the flats of the nut and you spin it off. Now keep in mind, again, this is going to be probably quite a bit tougher to do if this bicycle's been ridden, and you may need to put this down in a vise. So you need to clamp this down into a vise so it's sitting up like this. Put the freewheel down over it. So in other words, take the whole wheel, put it down over it, and use it like a steering wheel counterclockwise, and spin that whole wheel by grasping the tire to loosen this. Sometimes it can be a real bear. But so the idea is you use this tool to spin this off, and it's threaded, and I'll show you on the other side of the hub. On the other side of the hub, I should say. So normally I would have a wrench on here doing this, but because it's so loose right now, there's no need. So once you get to a certain point, you should be able to spin it off. Now let's do it the rest of the way here by hand. So almost there. And you'll have to excuse me. I'm doing this with one hand and filming with the other here. I'm going old school. Don't have the cameras yet that I plan on getting for my channel. I've got one action cam that I plan on using. So that being said, the hub is removable. It comes off the freewheel comes off the hub, and you can see up on top here how it's threaded. Well, those threads mate with threads on the inside, and this whole inside here is what spins. Okay, and then it locks in the other position when you're bearing down on the pedals. It locks in that other position. There's pawls on the inside that actually pull and will move the wheel. So that one's going to get set off to the side, and installing the new one. Now, when you install these, it's a good idea to use grease on the inside of the threads. And some guys say, "Oh, just put a little grease in there." I get some grease in there, and the grease that I use and I've been using for 25 years or better is the Polylube 1000. It's the Park Tool grease, the PPL1 or Polylube 1000. Seems to work out really, really well for me. So what I did was I slathered the grease on the inside on the threads. You want to get that grease on there because once you're riding this bike for any amount of time, and if you ever have to change out the freewheel for whatever reason, they wear out. It's a wearable part. You're never going to be able to get it off if you don't have grease in there. It could actually seize onto the hub, and then you're going to be stuck. So in order to get this back on, it's just like tightening down a nut. So what we would do is put it over the axle, and you can feel when it clicks into place. And there it is. You can feel it starting to turn on. And you just spin it on. Okay. Once you get it spun on to where it stops, you can give it a little snug, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Now, it's on. And just by the virtue of the chain being on here and pulling this way, it will tighten down on its own. So that's pretty much it. This is just step one and a couple of upgrades I'm going to be doing to this bicycle. There's a couple other things I'm going to do as well. And I'll go through that as time goes. You'll see more videos coming up. If you like this video and like what I'm doing, go ahead and hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe if you'd like. And watch for more videos on the Dolomite and some other surprises coming up. Okay, guys, this is Moodog 815G bidding you adieu.